Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
if you love freedom,
As government expands, liberty contracts.
if you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
That's right. That's right. This is Upfront Outspoken. I'm your host, Bob Williams. That means it is time for my rant. And yes, I am pissed to the max. And people are going to say, okay, Bob, what now? What now? If you haven't been listening to the radio, you haven't been watching TV, then you're one of the most ignorant people I have ever run across. I'm pissed off at what's going on up in Ferguson. Yes, there are people mad. There are people angry at the decision of the grand jury not to indict Darren Wilson. But you idiots, you goddamn idiots up there who are deciding to be violent in your actions are what is pissing me off. President Obama, your civic leaders, the Brown family, everyone has asked you to remain calm. There are other ways to take out your frustrations. The destruction of property, the destruction of businesses is not the way to go about it. And you people that are doing it are a bunch of assholes. Yes, I am mad. I am mad. And I'm not going to deny that. We are a country of laws. And yet you decided to take it upon yourself because you are angry, because you are upset, because it didn't go your way. You decide to take it out violently. Ferguson, you are on fire. Remember the movie Mississippi Burning? Well, now they better retitle it Ferguson Burning. Because that's exactly what's going on. You people, those of you who wanted to incite violence got your way. You got your 15 minutes of fame. But it's infamy that's going to remain over the heads of Ferguson if that violence does not stop. You are destroying any hope of any business wanting to ever come into your community again. Your economic base is going to fall out from underneath you, and it'll be worse than Detroit. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Am I happy about the decision of the, regarding the grand jury? I warned you people weeks ago that I doubted very seriously if Darren Wilson would be indicted. But that's not the end of our judicial system. But yet you all think, because of your stupidity, that is the end of it. It's not. There's still a federal investigation going. Why the hell didn't you wait until after that investigation was over? It would have gave you a little more cool-off time. Oh, or maybe in some of your assholes up there, it would have been to the point where you would have got more frustrated, more angry. Man, this reminds me, what you people are doing reminds me of the Watts riots. Yes, I was old enough to remember them. I remember businesses burning in L.A. Oh, yes, I was old enough. I was a talk show host back then. I'm a talk show host now. But by God, where the hell is your common sense, Ferguson? Where the hell is it? You people who are doing the violence are the ones that we were warned about. People were warned that you would be there. Why? My question to you is why? Why are you allowing this to occur? Like I said, your civic leaders, the governor, the district attorney, Even the President of the United States said right out, there is a better way to take out your frustrations, a more civil way to take out your frustrations, to take out your anger. But no, there's a few of you assholes out there to decide, well, let's burn a few things. Let's destroy some property. Let's make chaos and hope for the best. Where you're getting exactly what you want. You get fired on with tear gas. You get arrested. You get thrown in jail. Yeah. Is that what you want Ferguson to be remembered for? Is the Watts of 2014? The death of Michael Brown was indeed tragic, but yet the evidence prevails. The grand jury of 12 people, 9 whites, 3 blacks, said, guess what? Darren Wilson acted according to the law. But that does not end there. And you have to remember that. It is not over until the fat lady sings. And I'll tell you right now, folks, she hasn't sung yet. There's a federal investigation going on to find out if Michael Brown's civil rights were violated. So yes, Darren Wilson could still face charges. But yet you take it upon yourselves to act now because you didn't like the decision of the court. 12 people, ladies and gentlemen. 12 people spent how long in very closed session? How many hours of testimony did they hear? How many pages of evidence did they hear? Or see, rather? How many hours of video did they hear? And yet they came to the conclusion that there was insufficient evidence to indict Darren Wilson, on any of the 5 counts presented to him. Do you think for one damn minute, if there was one shred of evidence, they would not have brought an indictment against Wilson? Do you think that it is in such a manner that our judicial system is so prejudiced, against a minority that would have occurred? And if you're saying yes, you better look again. Look at the makeup of that jury. 9 white, 3 black. Oh, I know there's going to say, people out there say, well, the 9 whites voted against, any kind of an indictment. We don't know that. We'll never know that because those votes and the people who voted those votes are sealed. And we will never know how many of the 3 voted in favor of no indictment. We'll never know this. It's never going to come out. That's the way the grand jury operates. We'll never know who was on the grand jury. We'll never know anything about them, but it's a cross-section of the demographics of the area. It's a cross-section. Rich, poor, middle class, whatever. They made their decision, and we as law-abiding citizens must adhere to that. But then there are those who will never accept the decision of that grand jury. I don't care who you are. There are the anarchists, there are the assholes, there are the ones out there who strictly want to do trouble, strictly want to get their 15 minutes of fame because of the fact, guess what? Darren Wilson was not indicted. There are those out there who insist that this jury was stacked against Brown. Already, we're hearing rumors of potential civil lawsuits from the Browns' attorney. Is it going to happen? You could bet it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it's going to go to court. And it's going to go through the legal process. And if that jury says the same thing the grand jury does, then what? Then what? What if that jury in a civil case says, guess what? I'm sorry, you have no case. Then what? Are we going to see this all over again? Ferguson, wake the hell up. What you are doing right now, right at the moment, is wrong in every aspect, in every verbiage. It is totally wrong. Violence is not an answer. You need to have cool heads. You are angry. You are frustrated. You are mad. We all get mad. We all get mad. But how many of us, because we are mad, go out and vandalize a police car, go out and burn a business that generates an income for that community? I've seen two, a Caesar's pizza parlor. I've seen a storage building in flames. How many of you don't understand that what you are doing by burning these businesses, they may not come back? It hurts your tax base. All the people that worked at that Caesars may now be out of a job because of your idiotic, asinine actions. How many other businesses are going to say, hey, I'm not going to risk my business going up in flames here. I'm getting the hell out while the getting's good. How many are going to leave? And soon you will be another Detroit on the verge of bankruptcy. No tax base, no nothing. I got news for you folks. If I was a business in Ferguson right now, I'd be saying, oh, I'm getting the hell out of here. It's too risky. I can't chance this. I can't chance my business being destroyed. I can't chance my livelihood that my family depends on to be lost because of some stupid assholes. That's right, folks. You're hearing it right. Yes, I am mad. I am not going to deny that. You know, we here, many of us here, I'm not going to say, I shouldn't say it that way, but there was myself and Ed who said weeks and weeks ago, we firmly believed that there would be no indictment. But what we also said, it's going to be based on the evidence. Every shred of evidence presented to the grand jury, they're going to sift through it. They're going to scrutinize it. They are going to look at every period to make sure all the I's were dotted properly, all the T's were crossed properly. And guess what? We were right. The district attorney, in a statement to the press, as soon as the verdict was read or the decision of the grand jury was read, said right out, the grand jury had every piece of evidence, every statement, everything regarding the investigation into the death of Michael Brown before it. Michael Brown was not on trial in there in the grand jury. The grand jury basically already had put Darren Wilson on trial. Don't you understand this? Because Darren Wilson himself went into that grand jury room and testified. So do you not think for one damn second that in this grand jury room, those jurors did not drill Wilson? Because in a grand jury proceeding, a juror asks the questions, not the lawyers. The lawyers do not ask questions. They may ask a few, but it is up to the jurors, to question. And they had to have had Darren Wilson. They must have put him over the coals, and they came to the conclusion, guess what? Darren Wilson acted in accordance to the law, therefore, no indictment. Wake up. That is the reality of things. And now, you have the gall, you have the audacity to take justice, if you want to call it that, into your own hands. You want to go out and burn things. You want to go out and destroy property. What the hell is wrong with you? Those that are caught, those that are arrested because of these actions, and you can bet the faces of some of these people are probably plastered all over the media, you're going to be facing a judge. You're the ones that are going to be facing the end of the same judicial system that you are now whining about. You will be the ones who will be facing the judge, the jury of your peers. You will be the one to probably go to jail, if not prison. And yet you're the ones that are whining about it. And I can hear you right now. There are going to be those out there that are whining, it's my right to protest. Yes, it's your legal right to protest, but not in violent, endless violence. That's not a protest. That's a riot. That's a riot. No different than in Watts. I got news for you. You people up there are insane. You're mad, you're angry, you're upset. Yes, I can understand that. I would be too. And I'm not saying I'm not. I'm upset with some of the things that happened there. But I knew weeks ago. I said here weeks ago. It was, he wasn't going to get indicted. It wasn't because of these alleged leaks. It was from what I was seeing. And what you want to know how I based my observation? You know how I based my theory he was not going to be indicted? Because there was too many conflicting reports from witnesses, the evidence itself, the statements about the autopsy. That's what made me draw to the conclusion he was not going to be indicted. Folks, you have to look at the facts. You have to look at the evidence. You were not there. You were not in that jury room. You have no idea what they say. Well, now the press will have access to it because media packets have been released. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try to get, have us get a copy of that media package. And then I'm going to have my own analysis go through it. My own analysts. I'm going to have them go through it. And then we're going to bring them on. And we're going to see if they see the exact same thing that this grand jury saw. There was no way an indictment against Wilson would stand up. So now you're saying, there's people out there saying, oh, he murdered an innocent black 18-year-old. Well, let's look at the facts. Number one, Brown stole cigars from a convenience store. Wilson was on call answering a emergency of some sort, a family emergency. He got a call about what had happened in a convenience store just a little while before that, a description of the individual with the ball cap, the yellow socks, the white T-shirt, blah, 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 blah. Okay. He's back on patrol. Guess what? He sees two people in the middle of a road. One, at that time, he didn't know that he was a potential suspect of the strong arm or of the theft. So he tells these two individuals, hey, you got to get out of the street. One of them, Brown, not only approaches the squad car, but tries to injure the officer inside. Those are the facts of the case. Those came out through forensic evidence and other facts. Those are the facts of the case. We learned Officer Wilson's shirt was tore. We learned Officer Wilson was assaulted. You know, these are facts. How does a police officer who's sitting in a squad car tear his shirt? How does a police officer sitting inside of a squad car get assaulted? Unless the suspect reaches inside of that squad car, grabs the officer, tears his shirt, and hits him. Those are the facts of the case. That's what I drew my conclusions on. I didn't know about the shirt. I didn't know about several other things, but basing it on what I heard, basing it on what has the media brought out, other sources and all that came out, I drew my conclusion right from the get-go that Darren Wilson would not be indicted, and I was right. I'm not the only talk show host in America that felt the same way. Excuse me. Even our own Ed Till said that weeks ago, that Darren Wilson would not be indicted. And he wasn't. So what happens? Because you people are not, oh God, you're so upset, you're angry, you're frustrated, you take it out in the worst way possible. Through destruction, through violence. That's not the way to solve this. President Obama said so himself. Come on, calm down. There are better ways to address issues, and this is not one of them. You people in Ferguson that are causing the violence, that are causing all of this, guess what? I don't feel any sympathy for you. I hope you get caught. I hope they throw your ass in jail and then let you have the taste of the same judicial system that you are right now condemning. Because you're going to beg for a lawyer. You're going to beg for your rights. You're going to be screaming. You're going to be whining. You're going to be crying. I have rights. Yes, we all have rights. But we do not have the right to destroy property. We do not have the right to vandalize. There are laws for that. What you people in Ferguson are doing right now is wrong. You're going to be another Watts. You're going to go down into history books as the Watts of 2014. You're going to be. That's how you're going to be listed. You're not going to be listed as Ferguson, the community. You're going to be listed as Watts 2014. Yes. I said yesterday on my show, this is not going to be Mississippi burning. This is going to be Ferguson burning. And what can I tell you? You've already torched a Caesar's Palace. Or a Caesar's Pizza Parlor, I should say. You torched storage units. You torched other buildings. So isn't that the same thing as saying Ferguson on fire or Ferguson burning? Yeah. You know, all I can say from this end of the microphone and being hundreds of miles away is cooler heads need to prevail. And right now they're not. Those within the clergy, those civic leaders, the president has all called for calm. Even the Brown family before the decision said, look, stay calm. Let's not be known for something other than a community. Let's keep it non-violent. That was out of the Browns family's mouth. They did not want this. The president does not want this. The mayor does not want this. The district attorney does not want this. I'm certain Eric Holder doesn't want this. But yet, you allowed yourselves to get violent. Sure, it's only a few. It's a handful. It's the ones who think that, okay, we're going to loot. And that, oh yeah, by the way, that was going on as well. I seen photographs of people looting stores. So now you have a Watts 2014 situation. Is this what you want to be remembered for? Get your shit together up there, folks. This is not the way to handle the ongoing situation. Far from it. This is not the way you want to be remembered. You do not want to be remembered as Watts 2014. You do not to be remembered as Detroit City the Second. But that's exactly what you're doing by what you are doing. By torching businesses, they're going to pull the hell out and they're not coming back. There goes your tax base. Boom, right out the window. Services get cut. Okay? You can't pay a bill because of that. Guess what? We're going to cut your power off. We're going to cut your water off. We're going to cut you off right at the kneecaps. And that's exactly what you people are looking at. Get it together. Stop this. Get it together. Keep it calm. Peaceful protests are the best thing. But violent protests is the wrong thing. When I come back right after NPR News, I do not want you to go away because I'm going to be having a very special guest. Jonathan Wolfman will be joining me. We're going to be talking about this very same issue. Stay tuned. There's more to come.